Hey, what's up everybody? Back here today with the vid, and today we're on Cliff in the AMX Chaffee. Tank that I haven't really played much, to be fair, and for a pretty good reason, I think. Um, it's been a tier 7 tank for a while now, and it still has tier 6 light tank hit points. So honestly, it's not a tank I want to play that much, considering. There's just tanks I'd rather play other than that at tier 7 than a tank that only can take maybe 2 hits from tanks that are a couple tiers above it. But with the +1 -1 event this week, I finally took it out again for a spin because it's a little less painful. I don't have to worry about getting annihilated by tier 9 tanks in one shot or anything like that. But enough on the tank. I've done some other videos on it in the past. I'll look it up, but still a good tank. Like I said, I kind of wish I could play it more, but it's just hard to bring myself about it with basically being able to get 1 or 2 shot it so easily. The matchmaking is in now. So, anyways, we're on Cliff. We're kind of doing the normal Cliff thing. Sometimes I may go left, but with this kind of matchmaking, I'm going to try to get up to the hill. We run into a rock in the beginning, not the best way to get it early positioning, but it's low tiers, so I wasn't too concerned about getting spotted. We had to actually get lit there, but that's why the defeated dash too. But that crossing at lower tiers is a little easier, a little less risky, just because the rear rangers are less, and you can even see we can get away a little bit more on top of here, just because again rear range is less on all tanks, and yeah. Now, higher tiers, tier 9, tier 10, even tier 8, it can be a little riskier, just because most tanks have a higher base view range, and you got to be a little more prepared for getting lit as soon as you poke the original line. So you'll see me on those higher tier games when I'm up here. I'm less likely to do what I'm doing right now. And also, the lack of artillery means I don't have to hide behind the lighthouse. For protection basically, so I can kind of roam a little bit more up here and have a little bit more freedom of movement. But now the real joy of this positioning is the shots you get down on these guys up here. And again, we get top down views onto them, and we're going to try to aim for a little bit of a weak spot, and there we go. I know the fuel tanks / engine are in the back of that tank, or on those Carnarvon kind of British heavy tanks. They're on the sides. So if you kind of know that, you can kind of, I don't want to say guarantee, but you can give yourself a better chance of doing some extra damage with your clip, especially with an autoloader. You can go from snuffing a clip to possibly taking out a tank, so it's kind of a difference to be aware of. Now, the Chaffee doesn't have the best gun depression at this point, so it's a little awkward trying to get shots on these guys. I can't quite poke over because otherwise I'd probably take a hit. And again, only at 600 hit points. I don't want to lose those. It's very precious for trading shots. You got to just kind of be very careful about what you're doing. So now we see the Tiger P's kind of pushed around, and I'm trying to feather some shots onto him, and sure enough we can do that. So we're going to dump a whole bunch into here. Again, aim for the engine deck a little bit. With our second part, we could have done that from the beginning, but we pull back because he is not in our line of view anymore, and the IS as well is looking up here. Now this game's it's going alright, but every time we kill a tank, they seem to kill a tank, and we're still down by 2. So not the best, considering. And again, we use another one. Our T-71 pokes. The IS is kind of aware of what's going on up here, and he's keeping pretty good tabs on myself and, well, the other T-71 who he just took out. So I gotta be aware of him. I know that the IS is consistently looking up here, and now I see the T-71. I thought he was coming after me, but really the T-71's focus is on the 2 mediums down below, and I see he gets tracked, and he's just unloading, so he's not really paying attention, and he's tracked, so we're going to retrack him there and take him out of the game, which gives us, again, that thing I stress the most, view range advantage at the end of the game. So very key kill, and we get him off the board. So now we're going to back into our position, maybe try to get some shots on his IS, but it's a little funky because he's hiding behind a rock. I don't think he's meaning to do it totally from this positioning. But it is what it is. I don't want to risk him hitting us, because again, if he hits us, he could literally put us on 100 health, or a little bit over it. He's 390 alpha, he could high roll, and leave us on, well, life support basically. But now we see our, I believe that's an absolution down there in the other position. I actually like sometimes, depending on what the map's playing out as. Now I kind of, I don't want to say screw him, but I start shooting the IS, and so he gets pushed by the IS, and now I see the VK going in. VK is a lot easier shot, just out in the open, and that tank's very squishy for APCR rounds basically. And you saw our other tank got taken out at that point too. So now we're in a 1v5 situation. I'm not too concerned at this point. I still have the view range, and I wait till I'm reloaded, but I also wait till he's behind cover of the tree, so I don't get spotted. You get a little bit of a low, possibly, but yeah. We reload as soon as possible, but we do spot the IS going to our base, the other one. We know the other IS is still probably lurking around here. He knows where we're at. It's not too much of a secret. But then we spot the T-34, who is like a 2-shot, so he does spot us. It may have been the IS that spotted us actually there. And the T-34-85 hits us, and that was actually with HE, and I believe the derp gun. So that could have actually been really, really bad, but luckily he just hits our tracks, or maybe just misses right near us. Jesus Christ, voice crack for some reason. But yeah. So again, we even eliminate a little bit more range, and I know where the other IS is now, and for some reason one's in the gap, and then this guy for some reason thinks it's a good idea to run away from me. I have the view range advantage by massive portions here, and then our third shot actually tracks him, so we're going to be able to take him out very easily. So great result for us so far in terms of this, and the other IS is kind of doing, again, and these kind, I really don't recommend getting on the cap. At least on this map. Maybe some other maps are more viable to do that, but Cliff's a very easy map, I think, to defend the cap circle, usually. So there's a couple positions, or I can just spot right into their base, like where he's at, and at 400 meters view range. Again, I think I have my like 17 perk American crew in this. That's jumps around from time to time between premium light tanks. So we're not gonna ever get spotted here, and we set him on fire and just let him burn. So that's another big plus for us. Again, just view range advantage here at the end of the game is just critical. So now it's just me versus the SU-100. I actually thought he had no kills, and my first gut reaction is I haven't even seen him all game. So I'm going to check the base. Maybe he's AFK. Maybe he's just sniping in the base. So that's my first reaction. I haven't seen any signs of this tank destroyer the entire game. But actually, he's not in the base, so he's not AFK at the very least. I'm going to spot where Artie usually sits, just in case. I don't know. It's lower tier, so anything's kind of possible. I want to eliminate stuff. Obviously here, kind of, by this point in the game's life, it's kind of obvious. Don't go in the cap circle in these kind of situations. It tells you where you're at, especially in a light tank. You kind of want that advantage. There are certain times you can do stuff like that if you're getting chased and want to throw people off, or yeah, there's some other minor minutia. I don't know, details. You can do that kind of play for misdirection purposes, but here I'm just on a search and destroy basically. I'm like, where's this guy at? I'm gonna kill him. He should never spot me if I get him at view range. This is a little awkward. I don't really tell him where I'm at exactly by just doing track damage, so I don't fire there just because it's kind of awkward. We have 11 shells, which should be plenty to take him out. First shot takes out his engine. Second one does go in as well, and our third blind one does not go in also. And we fire another one. That one's kind of pointless, for my opinion. But now we know where he's at, and I'm gonna guess he's just going to probably turn and look this way. So I'm just gonna take the beeline, go up top, and go over to the left where I was originally. and see if I can't get the flank or side on him. I also thought, before that, let me just check. Maybe he's just going to make a beeline, try to go for the cap, and maybe I could catch him in the field crossing. But it's not the case. He's probably sitting behind that rock, aimed down the corridor where he was getting shot from. Just my kind of guess at this point. So I'm going to try to do that obvious play in my mind, and let's just use my rear range once again, and just kind of extend it out here. If we don't spot him here, S2 has decent camo, regardless of crew or whatever. It has it's a tier 60D, so it has fairly good camo, I'm pretty sure, but we have way better view range. So we spot him out in the open here, and sure enough, minus my floopy shots there, looking right down the corridor like I kind of predicted there. So I'm going to take him off and finish off the 1v5 for the Call of Banov's medal, which is very nice. Again, first game in this tank I played in probably 6 months, maybe, if that. But overall, really fun game. 2400 base XP. You can see all the numbers; they're all there. And yeah, fun game. I wish the tank I could bring myself to play it more, but when it goes back to probably +2, I can't really justify playing this thing with 600 hit points. But it is what it is. So I will hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. See you.